Hey there. We are still right in the middle of our season called Advent. Do you remember what Advent means? That's right, it means coming. And this is super important because it means that we're in a time of waiting and expectation for Jesus to come. On Christmas, we celebrate that Jesus came once as a baby, but we're also waiting for him to come again and make all things new. Today we're going to read a story from the Bible in a book called Jesus Came for Me. There are 3 stories in this book, and we're going to read one of them today, one next week, and one the next, all about Jesus coming to earth as a baby. Today we're going to read a story called Zechariah Can't Talk. And this is a story about a man named Zechariah who was waiting for God's promises. Let's start reading. God's people had been waiting many years for the Savior God had promised. With every baby boy born, the people wondered if this baby was the Savior. Zechariah and Elizabeth were a part of God's people. They were both very old and they didn't have any children. But they loved God. They obeyed him and kept waiting for God's promises. God helps us to believe and to wait. Zechariah worked in God's house, the temple. One special day, one of God's angels appeared and spoke to Zechariah. The angel said, "God will give you the baby boy you've been praying for. You must name him John. He will get God's people ready for a Savior." Zechariah was shocked. He said, "We are too old to have a baby. How can we know that God's promise really will come true?" The angel answered, "This is how you will know. God will make it so you can't talk until the baby is born." Zechariah tried to answer the angel, but no sound came from his mouth. Zechariah couldn't talk. In this picture, it looks like his lips are zipped up with a zipper. And they weren't really zipped closed, but he couldn't talk, so that helps us remember. But now, he believed that God would really give them a baby boy. When the baby was born, some friends thought Zechariah and Elizabeth should name the baby boy Zechariah after his dad. But Zechariah remembered what the angel had said. He wrote down, "His name is John." Right away, Zechariah started talking and singing. He sang, "Our waiting is almost over. God is sending the Savior." Have you ever had to wait a long time? Like Zechariah and Elizabeth? It's hard to wait sometimes, right? Like when you're waiting in line, or waiting for your birthday, or waiting for Christmas. It's really hard to wait. And sometimes we have to wait on God too, and wait on his promises. But God helps us to wait. He helps us to remember and believe that his promises always come true.